Hey everyone, so it's been a little while since my last video. I've just been holding off to get all my new cooking gear together, and I've also needed a nice clear sunny day to give it a test run. But today I finally got one, so I'll let you guys know how it went. But being able to cook in here is the best improvement that I've made to this van. Every day my menu gets a little bigger, and I haven't gone out to a restaurant once in the past 2 months. But you can probably see I've made some other changes to the inside here. That's a 2000 watt pure sine inverter, and I also have my fat bike with me and the folding bike. They both fit inside here, so I'll show you guys the changes I've made over there, and then I'll take you back to see the new cooking gear. Both bikes fit in there nice and snug. I've got the fat bike hanging from a hook from the rear rack, so it's not resting on the rear derailleur or the chain rings, and I've left the back section of the shelf open so there's good ventilation for the inverter. So up until now, I've just been using a jet boil with an LPG canister, and I've got a cooking pot adapter on top of it. When I was just using this for coffee, maybe 2 boils a day, it was perfectly fine. This 230 gram canister would last a month or longer, but now that I'm cooking with it every day, this barely lasts a week, and these things are about $8 a pop, so it starts to get expensive real quick. And I also wanted to get away from these disposable containers. So this is my new stove. It's an Optimus Polaris, and this is what I'll be using the most. It burns gasoline, diesel, but they recommend using the Coleman white gas because it burns a little cleaner. You can also wind one of those LPG canisters on there. That works too. It would be nice to use propane in here, but I just don't have enough room for the tank. So this is what I've decided to go with. According to their specifications, I think I'll only be using $1 or $2 of fuel per week, but I still have to wait and see how that goes. Looks like it's sitting here kind of dangerously, but I built this platform for it, and it just squeezes in here nice and snug, and it's pretty secure while I'm cooking. So this is my other solution. It's a 1200 watt electric hot plate. I figure I've got all this extra solar energy coming in, I might as well put it to use somehow. And today I finally got a nice clear sunny day, so I decided to give it a test run. So I boiled up some water for my coffee. It takes a lot longer than the gas. It took about 8 minutes on high with this thing. But my battery seemed to handle it all right. It took a good hour and a half to fully recuperate. But I think if I'm cooking, I'll only be using it on half power or less, so it should be all right. The other thing about this, it puts off a lot of extra heat. It got pretty sweaty in here. So in conclusion, the LPG canisters are nice because they have instant heat. They're small and portable. Easy to use, just turn on the gas and light it up. You get a nice consistent flame. It doesn't flare up at all, so it's safe and it's maintenance free. The downside is that if you're using it a lot, it'll start to get expensive. And the good things about the gas stove is that it's cheaper to run. I'm still waiting to see how much cheaper. I'll let you guys know. And if you're ever in a pinch, it'll use multiple types of fuel. You can put diesel or kerosene in there or wind on an LPG canister. And it actually boils water about the same speed as what the jet boil does. The downside to this type of stove is that it requires preheating and more effort. You got to fiddle around and fill up the fuel tank. It requires maintenance. You got to replace parts on it eventually, and it's less safe, especially when you're preheating it. It tends to flare up a bit and put out some soot that you don't want to breathe in. And finally, the electric hot plate is good because it's the safest. You're not playing with fire or breathing in any of the fumes. You don't have to worry about carbon monoxide, and you're just harnessing the free energy from the sun. The downsides is that it's power hungry. I can't use it at night or when it's cloudy. It creates a lot of excess heat in here, and it's kind of bulky. So when is the next bike tour? People are wondering. I'm still deep in the planning stages for something in Argentina. If I make the flight down there, I want to make sure it's the best route possible. As far as I know, the weather window for that is December and January, so it would be nice to do something before that, but who knows? Some of my tours in the past have been spontaneous, so who knows? Anyways, thanks for watching, and thanks to Patreon supporters, and I'll see you guys later.